Welcome back to Yoki's Kitchen. Y'all hungry? Good, because today we're having some lemon herbed crusted lamb chops. Sounds good, right? So what you're gonna need, obviously, is your lamb chops, like so. These are smaller lamb chops. This is all I can find. These are almost like lollipop lamb chops. I do have a couple bigger ones underneath, but you just need a set of lamb chops. You're also going to need, just for your seasonings for your lamb chop, all-purpose seasoning of your choice, lemon pepper, some garlic herb Mrs. Dash, some onion powder, garlic powder, some cayenne pepper, some paprika, some garlic paste, and some parsley. You're also going to need avocado oil. Now we're going to use avocado oil because it can withstand higher temperatures, and you do not want your oil to burn while you're cooking your lamb chops at such high heat. So your avocado oil will kind of keep you in that little safe zone if you use this. You're also going to need some rosemary, some fresh garlic, heavy whipping cream, and this is Kerrygold garlic herb butter. So this is a butter that has a little pizzazz to it. Some sour cream, also some plain Kerrygold butter, because this is what we're going to use. We're going to make like a sauce to kind of like drizzle over our lamb chops. An onion. Now you can use onion, shallots, whatever it is that you choose. I'm going to use an onion because it's what I have, but I am going to dice it up very, very, very finely so that it can pretty much break itself down in that sauce, so you really can't taste it. You're going to need some lemons and potatoes of your choice. Now these are the Honey Gold potatoes, and that is what we will be using. So with that being said, let's get started so I can show you how to season these chops. But before we season our lamb chops, I already had my water going for my potatoes, so I try to get a little bit ahead so we don't have to wait on anything. Y'all already know we got to season that water with a little bit of chicken bouillon for that extra flavor. And to this, we are going to add our potatoes, and we are going to let them cook until very, very tender. Drop these in there without making a mess. Let that go, and then while we are waiting on our potatoes, we will continue to do everything else that we need to do. So if you just, kind of go along, have different things going while you're waiting or while you're doing certain things, you'll find yourself finishing a little bit quicker. So let's get this out of the way and let's season some pork chops. I said let's season some pork chops. We are not cooking pork chops. We are cooking lamb chops. All right, so as I was telling you what you are going to need for your lamb chops, let me actually switch hands so that I can keep one hand clean while I season with the other. So just like chicken and everything else, please be careful. You do not want to cross-contaminate anything, so we're going to take all of these covers off so that when we start seasoning, we don't have no issues. And of course, this will be new. All right, so as I told you earlier, these lamb chops have been washed and pat dry. So as you can see, they are dry, and preferably, I also tell you that you do not want to cook any of your meat while they're cold, because it will cause the meat to become tough, if you understand what I'm saying. So in order to prevent that from being tough, you want to at least cook it or introduce it to the fire at more of a room temperature situation. Okay, so we are going in first with our all-purpose seasonings. All right, make sure everything gets nicely covered. We are gonna go in with some garlic powder. Don't worry about the excess that's falling over because you are going to actually kind of move these around in that. Some onion powder. A little bit, let's put that last. A little bit of cayenne pepper. Your choice, you don't have to. And then you know, I say this is only for color. Some paprika. All right, some paprika. Now we are going to turn these over in the same dust that we have created on the first side. Now you can use whatever you want. Parchment paper, foil paper, whatever it is, but when you're using a surface to actually season on, it's a little bit easier to kind of control. Now I'm gonna go back, do the same thing on the other side, very lightly, and then I'm gonna put on my other glove, and we are really gonna get into it with a little bit of that same avocado oil that we talked about a second ago. Paprika. And then of course, obviously don't forget your lemon pepper. We're just gonna work these in to our seasonings. Turn these over so you can get the lemon pepper on the other side. Like so. Now, I'm gonna get my avocado oil, I'm gonna drizzle the oil on it, and then we're gonna marinate and then put them aside for just a little bit. Now I'm gonna take the avocado oil and I'm just gonna drizzle just a little bit on there so that I can kind of incorporate and work in the seasonings that we have here. Let's put a little bit more there. Okay. So with my second glove, okay, now I'm just gonna rub that in. And then just make sure that the chop is completely covered with your seasonings, even on the back side. Just rub that in. How y'all doing today? I didn't ask. Y'all good? I am great. Thank you so much for asking. I am really excited about this meal. I love lamb chops. They are a little bit more intimidating than they are because they're not difficult to cook at all. But people are like, lamb chops, I don't know how to do that. I don't know. Don't be intimidated. It's not hard. Okay, so now that we have everyone nicely seasoned and coated, we are going to just give this a couple more minutes to really rest, since I kind of aggravated it a little bit. We can let that rest up. We're going to tend to our stove, but before we head to the stove, I'm going to show you how to make, just a little simple butter to add so you can create this little sauce that we're going to drizzle on top of these lamb chops. So let's do that. So now we are going to make a little reduction sauce to actually pour on to our lamb chops. So I have a stick of melted butter here, or softened, it's not all the way melted. To this I am going to add some garlic, so about 2 tablespoons of garlic. We are also going to add some parsley, about the same. I am going to add some salt for taste. Okay, salt. Some black pepper as well. I really need to get some battery grinders. Black pepper. We are also going to have the Mrs. Dash garlic herb. Add as much or as little as you would like. The juice of a lemon. Ooh. These lemons. Do y'all know how to pick a good juicy lemon? Let me know if you do. What is it that you look for in your lemons that would determine if they're juicy or not? What I look for is a nice, smooth skin on the lemon. And unfortunately, that was not available. So I did end up having to get what was there. So this is how that lemon looked. It was a little rough looking. That's usually not what I would do or get. And I'm also gonna just put a teaspoon of that avocado oil in there. We are going to mix this up. Get this nicely incorporated. And you're just going to set this aside, and you are going to come back to this in a little bit. So let's get this all mixed up first. I don't want to use a whisk for this because I don't want to lose my butter in between those. Okay. So our butter is done. We're going to set this aside, and we're going to go ahead and put these in the frying pan. Before we get started with our lamb chops, let's just check our potatoes and see how they're doing. Okay, they're not quite done yet. So we need to give this a little bit more time. Let that continue to boil. And to our cast iron skillet, we are going to add our avocado oil, a few tablespoons. And let that coat the bottom of your pan. Okay. All right, we have this medium high heat, and we are going to add our lamb chops to this because we want to get a nice crust on them. So, and then of course, all of the drippings is what we're going to keep to make our sauce that we are going to add on top of them. So go ahead and add your lamb chops. Turn this one around. Spin it. Trying to make it fit nicely in there. And we have space for one more. Give them a nice little press so that they can sear or cook nicely. Now we're going to let these go probably about a few minutes on each side, and you're going to just keep turning them depending on how thick. As I was telling you earlier, that some of my lamb chops are a little bit thicker than the others, so I'm going to watch them, the thicker ones, or watch the thinner ones to make sure that they don't burn. So we're going to give that some time to do what it's going to do. I'm just applying some pressure to them to make sure that they're evenly browned on that one side. Let's give them a flip. Ooh, how pretty are those? Do the same on the other side. Now, depending on how you like your lamb chops cooked, whether you like them cooked well, medium, well, rare, is how you would judge your time on your stove. And if you're finding that they're cooking too quickly, you can just take them off of the heat and just put it in the oven and just finish the cooking process in the oven. Maybe 375, 400 for about 10 minutes. Okay, so I have them kind of, I have them seared on one side, but what I'm going to do, because I like my lamb chops cooked well, I am going to take them out of the skillet. Gonna make my reduction sauce, and then we are gonna put them into the oven. Beautiful. Okay, I'm going to reduce some of the heat on this. I am going to take out just a little bit of this avocado oil that we have in here, because I'm going to replace it with the butter that we made, and we are going to cook down those onions first. So let me take some of this avocado oil out, and then I'll show you the next step. Okay, so if you found that you have some burnt pieces in your oil, go ahead and you can take that out with the oil that it is that you are disposing of. And to your hot skillet, you're going to add very, very fine cut onions. As you can see, the onions are very fine, and that is about 2 cloves of garlic. You're going to get all of your drippings up with the onions that you just added into this. So pretty much deglaze your pan with your onions and garlic. Now to this, your butter that you just made, you're going to add to this and create that sauce. Now I want to cook these down until they're translucent, because I don't want to see them. I just want to taste them. So I'm just going to cook this down, make sure the garlic doesn't burn. So you're just going to keep moving that around so that your garlic does not burn, because you did add some fresh garlic to this. Now, I did not chop up that garlic. I did use the garlic press to kind of squeeze that, because I wanted to make that as fine as possible. Okay, we're gonna see how that's cooking down nicely. Very nice. And if you remember our butter that we made earlier with the parsley, garlic butter, and the juice of a lemon, that's what we have here. And we are going to incorporate this in with our onions. I did put it back in the refrigerator, so it is kind of firm. And let that melt down. That smells nice. At this point, you should start tasting, making sure you do not need to make any adjustments to your sauce or your, yeah, I'm gonna call it a sauce, to your sauce, so that when you add your lamb chops back before you put them in the oven, everything can be nicely seasoned. And by the time we get ready to do that, our potatoes should be doing something. Okay, we're gonna let this reduce just a little bit, and we are gonna add that back. Okay, it's reducing very nicely. I did notice that I did need a little bit more salt and black pepper, so I added some of that. And I also added some red pepper flakes just for a little bit of heat. I'm also gonna throw in a couple of rosemary, what are they called? Sprigs. Let that incorporate itself and infuse, and then we will add our lamb chops back. Now that that has reduced very nicely, I am going to put my lamb chops back into the reduction. And I'm going to keep all of this also. Just give them a nice flip in there so that everybody's nicely covered. And I am going to finish this in the oven for about 15 minutes. Get my other mitt. Smells so nice. So the oven has been preheating at 400. Put that in the oven, and we are going to tend to our potatoes. Let's turn these off. More than enough time. Let me also get this. Now that we have drained our potatoes, we are going to go in with our Kerrygold garlic herb butter, and we are going to start making our mashed potatoes. Put your garlic in, your butter in first, and mash while your butter is in there so that it can start to melt. And that's 1 stick. I should have let the butter out. Okay, let's get off of the stove. Let's step aside really quick. I don't like how that pressure sounds on the stove. Okay, so mash your potatoes. Get that butter nicely incorporated. Okay, I am going to season with a little bit of salt and black pepper. Black pepper and some salt. Just a dash. Remember, we boiled our potatoes in the chicken bouillon. So get that nicely incorporated. I am also going to add my sour cream. You can add as much or as little as you like. You just don't want to make the potatoes too runny, because remember, we're going to add some heavy cream as well. So I am going to add 2 heaping tablespoons of sour cream, and I will judge it as I go, as well as a splash of our heavy whipping cream, just to make it creamy. And as you work, continue to mash them potatoes. Getting off the mashed potatoes smells so good. Keep mashing. Where's the counter? Okay, now as the potatoes cool, if you by mistake just add too much milk or too much sour cream, as they start to cool, they will kind of thicken up a little bit, but just be careful, because there's really no coming back from it. Take these chops out of the oven. They smell so good. Look at that. Wow. Okay, so you're just going to get some of that butter sauce, and she just threw it straight across it. And just get it on there nice and juicy. Okay, so that is extremely hot. Give these a couple nice flips so you can look at them on both sides. Oh, feel nice and tender too. Okay, let's plate this plate. Let me grab a fork first. I don't think, yeah, come in here and look at this. Look how simple that was. There was no rocket science behind these lamb chops. Literally, sear them on the stove. If you want them to be a little medium rare, eat them as you please. Cook them on the stove, straight to the plate. Me, I like them to be well done, so I just put them back into the oven. 15 minutes, let's stop that. 15 minutes, and that was it. Mashed potatoes, extremely easy. Really didn't do too much to them because I want to add that extra glaze. I keep wanting to call it glaze. It's not a glaze. The sauce from the lamb chops on the potatoes. So I'm gonna get two. I'm just gonna sit that just like that. Just like that. Nothing too fancy, but I'm going to use this to get some of this sauce off of here. I'm just going to drizzle that on there like so. I don't know if you missed that. Just like that. My lemon herb crusted lamb chops with garlic mashed potatoes. Qué rico huele. Ay Dios. Qué rico. Ah, súper fácil. Sabe, tiene un sabor exquisito. Very good. But I don't know. They're hot, but I'm gonna have to pick this chop up and bite it. And they're tender. Look at that. You can taste the lemon, taste the herbs, taste the garlic. Absolutely beautiful. What a quick, delicious, simple meal. Look at that. They're just really hot. That's good. Yo, gang, listen. Listen to me. These came out absolutely great. The flavor on them are amazing. I can only imagine if I would have reduced the sauce and like a creamy sauce, that probably would have been bussin'. Do you want to see a Parmesan garlic crusted lamb chop? Creamy Parmesan crusted lamb chop. Let me know. Drop that in the comment. I will definitely do it. Just tasting it now, once I want to create that, recreate that, because I know it's going to be very, very good. So with that being said, Yoke Gang, listen, if you have not yet checked out www.yokegang.com, make sure that you do pick up a t-shirt, a hat. If you have not yet joined the Yoke Gang All In, consider joining the Yoke Gang All In. Join the fun. We have a great time. But with that being said, Yoke Gang. I would say Yoke, listen like I'm talking to myself. Listen, thank you so much for joining me today with my garlic herb crusted lamb chops and my garlic mashed potatoes. They came out excellent and I'm ready to eat. Sorry, I'm gonna have to let you go, but y'all know I love y'all for life.
Fix me a plate.